Welcome in, guys, and I thought I would do another scout report as we're getting closer to the draft. We're like a week away, under a week away now. So I thought I would come on here and talk about a couple of guys that I was talking about during my Lions video, where I did a video a couple of days ago talking about where I think the Detroit Lions should be targeting. And shit like that, people they should be looking at in this 2026 draft. And this guy I was talking about in my draft, Mansoor Delane, cornerback from LSU. Games I watched on tape were Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Florida, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas. Now, first thing you see Mansoor is his elite coverage. He's an elite coverage and technique. He boosts a excellent his excellent hip fluency, allows him to change in different directions and stay in phase with especially the receivers in like both man coverage and zone schemes. So again, he's very versatile. That's what you kind of really need, especially with your defense side of the ball. Another thing I loved on his tape was his ball skills. His ball skills and his instinct as well. Great instinct. Has again great anticipation of when to like break routes before the quarterback even throws the ball. His high press numbers, he had about 18. His numbers with the high press was about 18 in 2025. And again, you look at another thing I'm going to talk about here, but his physicality. His physicality and his tackling. Again, he's not like the largest corner. Like again, Mansoor's like he's 6 foot, 190 pounds. So not again, just hits the 6 foot mark. Again, he's willing to take on tacklers in the run game and utilize. Again, he has a great, which I didn't know until I was doing research on Mansoor, which ultimately he has an amateur wrestling background, which is great, especially because again he's only like 6 foot, so he's not like the tallest cornerback in this class, and for him to like utilize that wrestling background that he has, I think that's fantastic. From again, he was a high school wrestler back in the day, so again that's going to be that with his amateur wrestling background is great from his has translated well into college. And then kind of a couple more that I've got here. His versatility, like he can dominate in the press coverage against minoring receivers, and then he's comfortable even off the coverage. So again, he's not like just one dimensional, which again you definitely need in this league. But when he's off man coverage, he's explosive at being he's still explosive at being in man coverage and off man coverage in both snaps. Did have kind of a low target rate on 2025. He had fewer receptions, especially last year, so kind of a bit of concern. Ball protection is great as well. He has great ball production backup. He's got good instinct. He had 27 interceptions from passes in his entire career. Didn't end with the LSU defense last year. He didn't allow a touchdown from 20 yards from reps. Didn't give away any penalties as well. No penalty fouls as well in LSU in his entire run there, which is great. At the time, for I know sometimes where I've talked about enough of these guys now on scout reports, and sometimes like they'll just go too rash in their decision making and just play bad football. With Mansoor, he's not very rash. He's not rash, which is great. Again, he's versatile as well, because again, before he was at LSU, he was at Virginia, and he was thriving in a zone heavy technique, and he was very aggressive in man coverage, like we talked about before. And again, he's a very vertical route runner as well. Weaknesses, which you can look at here, weaknesses that I kind of seen on tape, where again, he has average like speed. Again, he's quick, but he doesn't have that top end kind of elite level speed, which again can, especially when he's in a deep triple threat, it can make him in huge danger on like recoveries against like offenses. His arm length isn't like, and he has a bit of a short of an arm length and frame. Like he's got like a 30-inch arm, and which again sometimes that could definitely cause a lot of problems with his distribution against like taller receivers, especially when he goes into the NFL. He has a decent level frame, but I think because of his amateur wrestling background, he can kind of hide that weaknesses in a way. Again, he didn't give any penalties away in his LSU days, but because of how aggressive he plays, because of, again, like we talked about the amateur wrestling background, he could be one of the guys that could give a couple of penalties away, because he's playing with elite level offenses, and that could be a problem. But again, if you coach that out of somebody, if he's under the right of system, I think again you can coach that. And then he has a lean frame, like 190 pounds. Just work out, just hit the gym more. That's just kind of one thing there. But ultimately, I do think again, people talk about can he handle a 17-game NFL season, especially with like the his frame and stuff. Again, with his amateur, I think he can do that. And sometimes again, he can be too ball heavy with his on defense, and he can focus more on like being manipulated by the quarterback too much, and that's kind of one thing that you've got to really coach out of him. But ultimately, Mansoor, Delane, I wouldn't mind him especially we need cover at cornerback. We cannot be going into 2026 and not addressing that issue of, again, the defense being shit for a third consecutive year. We cannot be going into 2026 3 years in a row where our defense is fucking getting worse year by year. So again, if we are getting Mansoor, Delane, then again, I wouldn't mind it. I think he is one of the guys that you can have in the second round. He's kind of a day 2 pick for me, especially because again, he hasn't got an elite level running, and you could see that a lot of it on his tapes. Really an aggressive background, an aggressive type player, which again you need, but especially if he's going to go up a level, I think he's going to be giving away too many penalties, in my opinion. Sometimes he can misjudge double moves with the quarterback, and that's kind of a thing as well. But ultimately, I would definitely take it for the Lions. We need, again, it's not about who's best on the draft board. It's like you need bodies in numbers, and if you're lacking at quarterback, which we have been for a while, take him, because we've had Kirby Joseph has been in that position for a while, and he missed 11 games last year. Half of the fucking season Kirby Joseph was missing in our defense. Brian Branch was missing for half of the games as well. Again, this has been a problem with us not addressing our defense. We don't have enough defensive cover, and some of the defensive additions we have are not good enough and need to be moved on. Because again, if we want to be in a championship winning window, we've got to be getting additions in. And Mansoor, Delane is a right step forward, I think, in my opinion. I think if I'm Brad Holmes, I'm looking at this and definitely taking him as a day 2 pick, and just keep beefing up that secondary. We have to keep beefing up that secondary. That has to be the goal. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I will link. I put the video also, guys, and I am going to link up that Lions video I did a couple of days ago where I also went into detail about more about this. But yeah, leave you guys some Mansoor, Delane in the comments. I put the video, guys. Bye.